That's not easy for Crawford. I mean, it's Canelo has the big advantage, but Crawford needs to manage well.
He hates that, but you can't call out the littler guy. You can't tell a dude, come up here and spot me 30 pounds. By the way, I failed drug testing. You've never failed drug tests. I mean, you know how much different it is? You get a juiced up Canelo.
He does his work. He gets work done, but never does that little extra to please or to. He knows he doesn't need to anymore, so he's just comfortable enough with just securing the win. He became a businessman.
And so I believe if Crawford could be that the night of the fight, I think he'll be successful. I think it'll be a big shock, but not to the ones that know, right? Canelo is the man. Like, take nothing away from him, right?
Manny Pacquiao casts doubt on Terence Crawford's ability to handle Canelo Alvarez, citing a significant size disadvantage. Manny Pacquiao, one of the sport's most decorated icons, made his pick crystal clear. When asked about the super fight, Pacquiao confidently backed Canelo Alvarez to emerge victorious. The Filipino legend seems certain about his stance, pointing to Canelo's dominant history at super middleweight and overall experience as reasons why he believes the Mexican star has the edge over Crawford.
That's not easy for Crawford. I mean, it's Canelo has the big advantage, but Crawford needs to manage well his body, his speed, and his power, because he's moving up to another level of weight.
While Pacquiao has his faith in Canelo, Terence Crawford is leaving no stone unturned in his preparation. A recent training clip showed him drilling heavy body shots with trainer Brian Bomac McIntyre. The intensity of his shots and the focus on bodywork suggest a very deliberate strategy. Crawford may be aiming for what many believe to be Canelo's most vulnerable area. Critics have often pointed to Canelo's reaction during his first bout with Gennady Golovkin when he appeared visibly hurt by a clean body shot. Though Canelo has shown resilience throughout his career, his ability to absorb punishment to the midsection remains under scrutiny.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely confident that he's going to get the victory. Second of all, I'm just happy for him and the team. So, you know, the world can see once again why he considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
Former world champion Robert Garcia acknowledged Crawford's strengths, praising his speed and footwork. Garcia admitted that while he might slightly lean toward Canelo, he doesn't rule out an upset. He highlighted how Canelo has appeared complacent in recent fights, suggesting that the Mexican champion may be coasting against lesser opponents without the same fire he once had.
It's a fight that most of the people don't give Crawford a chance because of the size, but he's got skills, man. He's got skills. He's got good speed, good footwork. That's why I do give him a chance.
You do give?
I do give Crawford a chance, of course. You know, Canelo's last few fights, you know, he does his work. He gets work done, but never does that little extra to please or to. He knows he doesn't need to anymore, so he's just comfortable enough with just securing the win. He became a businessman, and I think that could be something in favor of Crawford, that if he comes out in his best and good footwork.
Garcia believes this could benefit Crawford, especially if Canelo maintains the flat-footed and single-punch strategy he displayed against fighters like William Skull and Jaime Munguia. Garcia's breakdown paints a picture of a fighter who might be losing his edge at the worst possible time.
Crawford, that if he comes out in his best and good footwork, you know, Canelo is flat-footed. He you know, his last fight, especially against the runner, he was throwing one punch at a time. Didn't even try to be aggressive and get him into the ropes, throw combinations of 4 or 5 punches. He never even tried that. So I think at this stage, I am giving Crawford a big chance of maybe pulling it out.
Despite the analysis and optimism surrounding Crawford's chances, not everyone is sold on his ability to hang with Canelo. Internet boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult delivered a skeptical assessment. He strongly disagreed with those comparing Crawford to Floyd Mayweather, particularly in terms of defense and fight intelligence.
The best fighters he fought, great fighters. Let me see. Cat, he beat Charlo, Triple G, Plant Clean. Hey, they moved the needle. You can name Khan and Gamboa for Crawford, but you can't name Jermell Charlo for Canelo. But then you say Crawford ain't too small for Canelo.
Highlighting Crawford's most recent performance against Israel Madrimov, Showbiz pointed out the punches Crawford absorbed, punches Mayweather would have avoided. He also underscored the massive difference in context. Mayweather fought Canelo at a catchweight. Crawford is stepping up multiple divisions straight into Canelo's natural domain. That, according to Showbiz, changes everything.
So Canelo fighting Cotto is fighting somebody too old and too small. But him fighting Crawford, you must be drunk to think Canelo should beat him. Brother, the ridiculousness is crazy. The ridiculousness is crazy, bruh. Charles Baker literally said, clear throat, Canelo asterisk, but don't think Canelo versus Crawford is a born. That is a asterisk waiting to happen. Canelo versus Crawford is a born asterisk. But I gotta go. All right.
Daniel Jacobs recently shared his thoughts on the Canelo vs. Crawford matchup during an interview with Fight Hub TV. Drawing from his experience, that notorious clash with Canelo Alvarez in 2019, Jacobs emphasized that while Crawford undeniably boasts superior technical skill, it's the immovable trio of power, weight, and experience that often determine outcomes in boxing. He remarked that skills sometimes pay the bills, but acknowledged that those physical attributes remain significant factors.
Well, I would say Crawford wins the fight based off of the skill set. That's the first and foremost. I think the biggest worry for me when it comes to that is just the size difference. Because obviously, great Mike Tyson said, you have a game plan until you actually get in there and you get hit, and then that changes the whole outcome of the fight. So I'm hoping that he's able to endure what Canelo's gonna bring, but I think he has the skill set to be able to be like eluding all of the big shots and hit, not get hit. What does brother Nassim said? He has the most famous quote, swim without getting wet.
Further insights from Jacobs emphasized the challenge of moving up weight classes. He noted Crawford's jump from 147 pounds to 168 pounds is significant, urging that to level the playing field, Crawford might have benefited from stopping at middleweight and taking a transitional fight first. Despite that, Jacobs still remains an advocate for Crawford's abilities, reiterating that skill can sometimes narrow the gap.
And so I believe if Crawford could be that the night of the fight, I think he'll be successful. I think it'll be a big shock, but not to the ones that know, right? Canelo is the man, like take nothing away from it, right? But I mean, if you really look at skill set, not putting in the factors of weight and power, I think we kind of got to lead with Crawford, being that he's so diverse. The dynamic of what he brings to the table is very versatile. He can switch. He not just switch stance. I mean, he can switch style. He can switch aggression. He can be elusive. He can be, so he's very multifaceted when it comes to what all he brings to the table. But that's still my dog. So regardless to what, you know what I mean? Win, lose, or draw.
In a similar vein, former UFC fighter and analyst Chael Sonnen took issue with boxers using weight negotiations as a barrier. He emphasized how just a few pounds seem to dictate whether fights happen or not, subtly criticizing both camps. However, Sonnen sided with Canelo in believing that the weight advantage could heavily tilt the bout in the Mexican's favor. He even suggested that if Canelo does win, the victory may be unfairly discredited due to the size gap.
That's the problem, right? It's a one-way street. I would give Terence a ton of credit for beating Canelo, but no, not the other way around. Canelo's got a hard time even calling for the fight. You think Canelo getting called out by this smaller guy and turning down a big money fight? He hates that, but you can't call out the littler guy. You can't tell a dude, come up here and spot me 30 pounds. By the way, I failed drug testing. You've never failed drug testing. I mean, do you know how much different it is? You get a juiced up Canelo versus little skinny Terence Crawford, who's made.
Are we gonna relitigate Canelo Alvarez's drug test?
I'm a drug user. I cheated sport plenty of times. I cheated those same commissions. This is not to relitigate. We know our own. I'm a cheater. I know a cheater when I see one. Please, Dan, don't.
I know that.
Then came a bolder and more dramatic forecast from Julio Cesar Chavez, who believes the fight won't even go the distance. The Mexican legend predicted that Canelo would not only win, but knock Crawford out cold. Chavez acknowledged Crawford's skills, but firmly stated that the American star is outmatched and out of his league. For Chavez, this bout isn't about legacy or skills. It's about a payday for Crawford and domination from Canelo.
You think the first rounds are going to be a little bit difficult because this Cuban style, he moves a lot. But after the second half of the fight, probably Canelo is going to, see what he can do.
Okay. And if he fights Crawford in September, obviously you're going to back Canelo, but how do you think this fight would play out? It's a huge fight.
Bueno, es una pelea muy dispareja, la verdad. Crawford es un gran peleador, pero no tiene nada que hacer en ese peso. Con todo respeto, él va por el dinero y Canelo lo va a noquear.
The two fighters are going to be different weight classes, even though they're going to fight on a specific weight. He believes that they're just going because of the money, Crawford, but probably Canelo is going to knock him out.
On the flip side, respected boxing mind Teddy Atlas offered a more balanced take. While recognizing Canelo's excellence, Atlas emphasized that Crawford is a special fighter, perhaps even unique. Though Crawford's resume has come under fire, Atlas believes the intangibles he brings, his mindset, background, and willpower could carry him past the weight jump. While Atlas questioned if Canelo might be slightly overrated, he firmly believes Crawford's mental and physical tools make him more dangerous than many are willing to admit.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. And I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire, it's in his mind, it's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moved up in weight class, can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
Meanwhile, young superstar Ryan Garcia wasn't as generous in his assessment. He scoffed at Crawford's chances, especially after reviewing his performance against Madrimov. Garcia argued that Madrimov, not a big fighter by any means, managed to make Crawford look average. In contrast, Garcia views Canelo as someone who's completely mastered his style and understands every inch of the ring. For Garcia, this level of mastery makes Crawford's task nearly impossible.
I mean, look at him. He's one of the best in the world, so
Absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, without a doubt.
How does he fare against Canelo?
He can't beat Canelo. No way. I mean, I don't see him beating Canelo. He didn't even look that strong against Madrimov, to be honest. And Madrimov's not even a big.
Yeah, different style though. Madrimov has a jerky
different style, yeah, but
in and out, count him, punching, hard to time.
The thing with Canelo is he's mastered his style, and he ain't gonna change it up. But he's mastered it. Like he understands what's going on in the ring at all times. I just don't see Terence beating him. I don't.
Who's the hardest puncher you ever faced?
Duarte.
Oscar Duarte, who you knocked out.
Yeah, that dude had bricks.
And how did
in
he show you? What was it, a punch to the face or your
Well,
arms?
he's the only one that's ever cut my eye.
Still, there are those backing Crawford, believing he can defy the odds. Rising star Keyshawn Davis, the WBO lightweight champion, acknowledged Canelo's resistance, but insisted that Crawford has the power, speed, and intelligence to beat anyone. Davis didn't make bold claims about a knockout, but said if Crawford does manage to stop Canelo, it would cement his greatness beyond dispute. Even if he only wins on points, Davis believes that would still make Crawford super great. His confidence in Crawford stems from what he sees as a complete fighter with no real weaknesses.
I don't really think Canelo got the same love he had for the sport when he was coming up. But Canelo's still out here, his best Canelo. But ain't nobody saying, oh, you know, you ain't fight the best Canelo because he don't got the same love for the sport. Like, nah, like,
Everybody's saying that after the Skull fight now, though. Everybody's saying Canelo doesn't look the same. It doesn't.
Well, I ain't see that. You know what I'm saying? That's probably discrediting Skull. Like y'all fight fans, y'all don't know in the ring fighting. Y'all know boxing, but y'all don't know in the ring fighting. As much as y'all think y'all know, y'all don't. You know what I'm saying? And no, I can't. No, like that was the if he won't physically hurt or from Canelo to Tank, if they won't physically hurt and they had a full training camp, they was ready to prepare.
Davis also drew clear distinctions in styles. Crawford, a slick southpaw with superior footwork, timing, and boxing purity, versus Canelo, a forceful veteran known for power, resilience, and championship caliber ring IQ. According to Davis, that sharp contrast is precisely what makes the matchup so engaging. Crawford's finesse against Canelo's sheer pressure and experience.
I mean, shit, that's something I gotta see, man. I think Bud can stop anybody, honestly. I think he got the skill and the ability. Like the ability meaning like the power, the speed, you know what I'm saying? And the IQ. I feel like he got the skill and ability to do it, you know what I'm saying? But he's still in there fighting a guy that's not trying to let him do it. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really just be like, yeah, I 100% believe, or so-and-so believe that Bud's gonna stop this guy. Like, nah, but you know what I can say? I feel like Bud is going to beat him. You know what I'm saying? If and when he does stop him, Bud is super great. Even him just getting that win, he's super great. You know what I'm saying? But I can't just be like, he's gonna stop Canelo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Despite leaning slightly toward Canelo, Robert Garcia doubled down on his earlier thoughts, stating that Crawford would still put up a great fight. Garcia doesn't believe the gap is as wide as others are suggesting. He sees Crawford as someone who could push Canelo to uncomfortable places if the right strategy is executed.
I think that's why it's one of the fights that I'm really looking forward to, because yes, that's a possibility too. If Crawford, starts, with the speed and footwork and landing 2-3 punches at a time, which I think he will, I think that's going to bring the best out of Canelo too, to go out there and show the world that no, this small guy is not going to compete with me at this division. So I think it'll bring the best out of both. So that's why I really see it a great fight.
As the boxing world continues to buzz, the differing opinions make this fight one of the most unpredictable in recent memory. Some believe that Crawford's daring leap across weight classes might pay off with one of the greatest upsets in history. Others feel that this challenge is simply too large, and the size, experience, and calm aggression of Canelo will ultimately drown Crawford's ambitions.
So far,
I think Canelo is doing good, but he's got the resume to back it up, while Crawford believes in his skills and abilities that much more. That's why he's backing himself so much.
However, not everyone agrees with Crawford's chances. Rising British middleweight Hamza Shiraz weighed in with a firm prediction that Canelo would not only beat Crawford, but stop him. Shiraz emphasized the massive difference in weight classes and the challenge Crawford would face stepping into a division that's far from his natural one. In Shiraz's eyes, Crawford's skill can only carry him so far when size and power become a factor. He believes that while Crawford's talent is undeniable, he'll be overpowered if the fight happens at super middleweight.
My kind of perspective on that fight is, I feel like number one, there's a weight class for reasons, and I feel like if we're basing it off their last performances, Canelo had the better performance, I believe, even though he had a negative fight in front of him. And I feel like Crawford struggled a little bit with Madrimov's physicality. It was very physical, and I feel like he struggled a little bit with it. And then you got to remember, Canelo's a big dude. He's a big dude, he's strong, he knows how to use his size. But then at the same time, at that level, you can't write off fighters like Crawford because he's so skillful. So him going up 2 weights, he could defy the odds because he's a generational great. But if I had to kind of put my money on it, I'd put my money on Canelo Alvarez to win via a stoppage.
David Benavidez, another top contender in the super middleweight division, also threw his opinion into the mix. He wouldn't be surprised if Crawford pulled off the upset. Benavidez acknowledged that while Canelo has the size and experience at 168, Crawford's skill and adaptability are rare. Coming from a fighter who has shared the ring with top-level opposition and knows the division well, that's a serious endorsement. Benavidez's view hints at a shift in perception, where Crawford is being taken seriously as a threat, even in a weight class he's never fought in.
Does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a opportunity, has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight, you know what I mean? And he didn't have a hard time at 154, but he wasn't like, you know what I mean? The other guy was getting him with some good punches, you know what I mean? So he felt the power at 154. So imagine you go up to 160, 160. Madrimov, yeah, Madrimov is a good fighter. And then, you find a strong fighter like Canelo. So, I feel like it's like I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins, but I wouldn't be surprised if he loses either.
Sergio Mora added his prediction as well, describing Crawford as a mean dude and suggesting that edge might be enough to push him over the top against Canelo. Mora's take focused on Crawford's attitude and intensity, qualities that often make the difference in close fights. According to him, that cold, competitive nature Crawford possesses could be a bigger weapon than any jab or cross he throws. Mora's perspective adds another dimension to the analysis, one that focuses not just on skill, but on mentality.
Hey, listen, man, for a long time I kept saying, a great big man will beat a great small man. That's just how it is in boxing. But after Canelo's last performance, like many people, man, he struggled against a guy in cutting off the ring, a longer guy that wasn't trying to make it a fight. And Canelo has lost his step. Let's keep it real. This is a man with over 65 fights. He's been fighting professionally since he was 15 years old. There's wear and tear, there's injury. He can turn old overnight. And believe it or not, he's younger than Crawford.
Despite being younger than Crawford in actual age, Mora emphasized that Canelo has significantly more mileage. On the other hand, he viewed Crawford as the fresher of the two, even though he's 37. Mora pointed out that Crawford appears to be adding size the right way and physically looks impressive, possibly even appearing larger than Canelo in terms of frame and build. He praised Crawford's discipline and mental toughness, which he believes will be key factors in the bout.
But Crawford doesn't have those miles. Crawford's 37 years old. He can turn old overnight, but I still like Crawford, man. He's just a mean dude. He's been bulking up nicely, doing it the right way. He looks bigger. He looks bigger than Canelo right now as far as like height, the shoulders. I think it's going to be a decision type fight.
However, Mora ultimately predicted that while Crawford may put up a strong and potentially punishing performance, it would still be Canelo who edges out the win on the scorecards. He envisioned a competitive fight that goes the distance, with Canelo absorbing damage but doing enough to secure a decision victory.
I think Crawford's in this fight, and I don't think Canelo leaves unscathed. I think he'll leave a little bruised and beat up, but he'll still win the decision.
And there you have it. Boxing legends, rising stars, and sharp analysts are all split down the middle. Will Crawford's speed and smarts outclass the king of the ring? Or will Canelo's power and experience silence the doubters once again? September 13th is coming fast, and history is on the line. Let us know your pick in the comments. Team Crawford or Team Canelo? Smash that like button if you're hyped for the fight, subscribe for more Fight Night breakdowns, and don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss a punch. This is gonna be wild. Stay tuned.